guys, welcome back to Blue Clouds TV. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blue Clouds Media Football Minutes live on Blue Clouds Media again. What a beautiful day. It is Monday. And international break is still here with us. We're not done yet. I know a lot of you guys don't like international break, but there's nothing we can do. We still have to soak it up and watch those international games. If you're an England fan, then you have to know your game will be kicking off in the next 2 hours' time. If you're a Brazilian fan, wherever fan you are, your country will be playing. You have to, participate. Get to know much more of your country's game and how close they are into any continental competition. So yes, we are live here on the Football Minutes. Brought to you live by Blue Clouds Media. And what do we have for you guys today? Yes, we have a lot of news to talk about on this platform. Chelsea is facing a possible point deduction after leaked document revealed a string of a payment made during Roman Abramovich tenure. That's also part of our news today. That may have a breach financial fair play FFP rules, and also the investigation uncovered a series of payments worth tens of millions of pounds. Yes, tens of millions of pounds made over a decade, some of which appears to have benefited certain individuals around the club, including Antonio Conte, associate, and Eden Hazard, agent. And also, you guys, like I said, join us here as we discuss this news and analyze the potential implication for Chelsea's Chelsea's problems right now. We'll also talk about the severity of the alleged breaches and potential punishment. Yes, a lot of things going on with Chelsea Football Club. Let's see, will these things happen? Will this affect their transfer? How in terms of the future, Chelsea FC, how would this impact or affect their transfer dealings in the future? And the reaction from Chelsea's fans, the Premier League, and also the UEFA. Oh goodness, God help me. Chelsea now leading the race to sign a 26 million midfielder. A deal could be agreed before January transfer window. Reports coming from the Evening Standard. Nizala Cancela reported this earlier on. Has said Chelsea are leading the race to sign midfielder Gabriel Mascada from Corinthians. So yes, that is what we have for you guys today. So like I said, do not go anywhere. Stay tuned. Grab yourself something to drink as we'll take you guys through the next half an hour of live streaming. We'll be right back in a second. Hello, everyone. Welcome back again. Steven and I am here. I'm being joined here by my co-host, Steven. Steven, international break. Steven is here. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, doing all right. Hoping no Chelsea players play for England today on what's a dodgy pitch, so I'll be keeping an eye on that. And yeah, it's been good, man. It's just been a bit tired for no known reason, but it happens to the best of us. And we move. How are you doing?
Like I said, I haven't said that earlier, but I posted something earlier on.
Yeah,
I think on Friday. Yeah, I
yeah, it
was
would have been
very, very
Friday. We were
ill.
meant to stream
If
Friday.
Yeah, it was on Friday. I posted something regarding my illness. I felt very bad. I was very, very sick. And if you can listen to me, you can tell that the sound that is coming from is my nose. It sounds like nasal speech, if I should put it that way. Yeah. So yeah, I apologize for rescheduling this content. It was supposed to be in on Friday, but I have to reschedule it because I wasn't feeling well. I was coughing. It's all from moving from the warm weather to the cold weather. Going outside and coming in, it doesn't help. It's always make me sick. So I'm very, very sorry for reschedule this stream. But yes, we're back again, discussing, Stephen, we're discussing a news that broke out somewhere around Wednesday that Chelsea find themselves in a very, very difficult situation where they could find themselves losing point or being deducting point 10 points or probably 12 points, whatever that the media are trying to make it to sound like. But let's
There was one or two reports that went as high as 30, bro. Let's not ignore that scaremongering. There was a report that said 30 points. Let's not ignore that
yeah,
one.
some said 30 points. But let's look at Everton have been deducted 10 points, and that could see them in administration. They could be going into relegation if they cannot get enough points to keep themselves in the Premier League. Now, Everton have to make Goodison Park a fortress, where anyone that goes there means that you're going there to lose. Look at Everton's situation and look at Chelsea's situation. What's the difference between those two?
Um, the Chelsea one doesn't seem to be financial fair play based, which is what Everton did. Everton breached financial fair play in terms of they were something like 19.5 million over the allowed
Yeah.
amount that you're allowed to have in terms of losses. But if I'm not mistaken, the document that came out about the reasoning and stuff, apparently they didn't take into account COVID. They didn't take into account the fact that I believe they had some sponsors that were Russian. So obviously, when that situation happened in Ukraine, those sponsors obviously got suspended because obviously you're not allowed to have them and whatnot, right? So apparently that wasn't taken into account and stuff. I know that they're appealing it. I think they've publicly released a statement stating that they're appealing it. I think they probably win that appeal. And yeah, I hope for their sake they do, because looking at it at the end of the day, it looks like they've been done extremely dirty by the board that have looked into it and all that. Um, but yeah, I think it's harsh. I think on appeal it get reduced because, and I've said this in our little group with Ryan, it's funny, right? They try to give them a 10-point deduction, yet I think it was about 15 years ago, maybe less. Portsmouth went into administration and got a 9-point deduction. So, how have you come to the conclusion that this should be 1 point more than administration? It makes no sense. For me, I think if it goes to appeal, I think it'd be reduced by about 50%. I think it'd become about a 5-point deduction, which I think they're going to survive anyway. We know Sean Dyche's history when it comes to this. We saw what he done at Burnley. He had a reputation for keeping them up a lot of the time. And even with that deduction, like I've got the table up on my phone at the moment, even with that deduction, they're 2 points from safety.
Yeah.
And there's at least 3 teams that are worse than them in the league this season.
I thought you're using them as
Burnley
a
are worse.
scapegoat.
They're still ahead of Burnley on goal difference. Sheffield United are worse, Luton are worse, and probably Bournemouth as well. I think there's at least 3, 4 teams worse than them. So I think they still end up surviving, but I also think the appeal gets a reduction on the points deduction, and therefore they'll move back up anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, just like I said, I think that they will survive it, but it's all about how much points can they get. Even struggling, see, they're struggling making the points. So if FA have taken 10 points or whatever away from them, that's very harsh. I feel like, and I've listened to a lot of people discuss this. I think it's very, very harsh for them.
Hmm.
Amount of money for them to pay. Where is Everton going to get 300 million from? 300 million, and COVID did not help
To be
Everton at
fair,
all.
they're in talks to get new ownership, aren't they?
Yeah, in talks to get new ownership. So there's no
I
new
think that's
ownership yet.
going through the process at the moment. So there would be your answer, innit? Let's
Yeah.
like if we quickly touch on it. I know you were starting to make that point, but I just wanted to clarify it. Like,
Okay.
I believe those talks are still going on. And I think they're going through the due diligence now at the moment. So you'd imagine they'll come in and then everything should be good, shouldn't be at risk of administration or anything like that. Because if they went into administration, that's another 9 point deduction. Then they are done.
And they are done. That's
Yeah.
and also Stephen, whilst you're here, there's something we're gonna talk about later. Remind me in the next
Mhm.
20 minutes whilst we talk about the reports on Chelsea going into administration and all that stuff. Manchester City has been found 115. Is it
They
FA
were
breach? Yeah,
charged.
breaches.
They
Yes,
were charged. This is the thing that I'll touch on when we get to Chelsea. Man City have been charged with 115
115.
breaches. I will touch on why that's important when we get onto the Chelsea thing later on,
Okay, so you want us
because
to
there's
focus on
differences.
Chelsea first.
Huh?
So you want us to focus on Chelsea's situation
No,
and
no, no,
then
no. I'm saying
get back on it.
when we start speaking about the Chelsea one, like stay on Everton because I'm sure there's still some stuff you want to say, and I'll probably say as well. But I'm saying when we get to the Chelsea bit, we need to mention Man City and their charges because that's a key part in this whole story of this can happen, that can happen. Oh, they can get fined this, they can get deducted this. Like, it's an important thing for what needs to be
Yeah.
said is the fact that Man City have been charged.
Man City's situation right now is, I would say
It's
everything that
messy.
Manchester City have done is within or after financial fair play existed.
But also,
Some of the Chelsea's dealing did happen before financial fair play
mhm,
was implemented in English football. So those that were after the financial fair play was being imposed or brought into football was the one related to William or Samuel Eto'o or
William,
Eden,
Eto,
Eden
Hazard,
Hazard, agent, and on and on and
there
on.
might have been one or two others as well, but I can't remember. I know them three were definitely, well, not the players themselves, but
But
those deals.
what makes it more disturbing is they said if it benefits individual, if it benefits the football club. So some of these
Hmm.
dealings benefit Chelsea. That I heard some people were saying that okay, maybe Eden Hazard could have gone to Manchester United or maybe Manchester City, but because of those
Arsenal.
things that were promised Eden Hazard agent or maybe his family, that is why I convinced Eden Hazard to join Chelsea. So it means that we use money to influence Eden Hazard to join the football club. Is that not what it is?
The story is that something to do with he would have been happy to go to Arsenal and stuff like that. Like he was quite happy to go to Arsenal. I think I saw a report that said that his agent said that was like Hazard's first choice, but then his agent vetoed it.
Okay.
And then Hazard was sort of accepting of it. Like I think it was he found it hard to accept, but he did accept it. And then obviously he went to Chelsea instead. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff we need to touch on, and in the Chelsea one, it gets somewhat complicated for something that's technically simple to an extent. It's not simple, but compared to like Man City, it's simple. If that makes sense.
I agree with you, Steven. Just like you said, compared to Manchester City, but Chelsea's one is more complicated. It's very, very complicated because most of these things, one, you have to remember, it was a change in hands. There was new
Mhm.
owner, old owner, and new owner. So if whatever has happened was under the old regime, and the new regime have flagged some of these issues out. So there's no way Chelsea should be punished for what the old regime has done compared to new regimes right now. And
But the
like
Premier
I
League
said,
hate us.
yeah, but let's try and put the hate aside. Let's put the hate aside. Let's put the hate aside because we know, there's been a lot of statements out there that many people, FA doesn't like Chelsea for so many reasons or so many things. Anthony Taylor, but also, I was watching the game. I think it was being played. Chelsea won 3-1 against Manchester City, which the same Anthony Taylor was a referee in there, which he said he helped Chelsea. He
Conte
helped
at the
Chelsea a lot.
Etihad, right?
But yeah, Etihad gained the 3-1,
We
which
went 1-0 down because Cahill went with his wrong foot and scored an own goal.
yeah, there was handball in there, but Anthony Taylor did not. He said no, that's not a handball. If in this modern day VAR, it would have been a penalty against Chelsea, to be honest with you. But Taylor saw it. Taylor ruled it out as it's not a foul. So I'll give that to Anthony Taylor. I know I don't like him though, but I'll give that to Anthony Taylor. But Steven,
Compared
we're
to
still
about
gonna
200 against us.
move on to still
Mhm.
talk about this financial fair play and
Mhm.
how things. So now the question is, how does this affect Chelsea's dealings in the future if that happens? It hasn't happened yet. So hypothetically, if they should happen, how would this affect Chelsea's transfers in the future? But Stephen, before I let you come in, I have some few comments here. Let me tackle them real quick within a minute, and then I'll be back to you. Phantom of Minute topic. Thank you very much for your question, your comments that you've sent in here. Thank you for liking the video. Also, he says, Stephen, do you think it is fair? It is fair Everton to get 10-point deduction. That's Stephen will give you the answer
I touched on that
in
when
a
we were
minute.
saying about it that it was harsh, and I think it gets reduced.
I think I do. Our guilty Russian owner was forced to sell. Chelsea has already paid the price. That's what Phantom said. Lampard can save Everton. Lampard cannot do that at this moment. Big up Nian Steven. Big up to you, Gulam Mustafa. Man City need to be relegated down to League Two. Let's hope that can happen. I doubt that is going to happen. Steven, did you see Harry Kane score? Why is everything Steven? I don't know, Phantom.
He's on about, I think it was the last game before the internationals. He scored a hat trick or 3 or 4 goals, and one of them was from the halfway line. Yeah, I've seen it.
Phantom, everything Steven. Have you seen that? Have you seen it, Steven? Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Phantom, for your direct questions to Stephen. Phantom said, Stephen, did you see? Okay, I think I read that one. Sorry again.
You
Big
just
up
did
to
that
you.
one.
I123 love you forever. She said, my brother, I'm confused with your poll today. It only says yes, no, and no, maybe. I think did it? Maybe then I made a mistake on the poll. The question is right there. It says, should Chelsea be
No, but
handed a point
she's speaking about the
deduction?
3 options. Look at the 3 options, is what she's saying. So she's saying
Okay.
option 1 is yes, option 2 is no, and option 3 is no, maybe.
Yeah. So the question is, do you think Chelsea should be deducted that point? So alleged FFP breaches. So yes, if it says yes, then yes. If you say no, then no. If you say no, then maybe. If you're not really sure, you get what I'm saying, Stephen. If you're not really sure whether they should be deducted
But that would
point,
just be maybe.
yeah. When I did the poll, it's no or maybe. So okay. I'm sorry about that confusion there. I123 love you. Thank you very much for participating. I think we've had just 2 votes. I'm sure she's one of them. Says no.
I'm one of
All
them,
right.
but I didn't even, I was on autopilot. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much for alerting me. Probably it's a mistake. It's a mistake. FFP is stupid. They should adopt the NFL salary cap. Yes.
Well,
I don't
not
know
the
about
way
that.
they're not doing it the way the NFL do it, but they're doing it a different way. Well, UEFA are. The Premier League, I don't think are adopting it yet, but it's percentage of basically. I think it's percentage of what you get in terms of transfer fees, and then your other revenue you're
Okay.
allowed to spend. So
She said the
That's
question is
supposed
not
to.
showing. Are you sure? I'm
Hang on,
sure
let
it's
me open
showing.
it on my phone.
Well, I have YouTube right here. So if I have YouTube right here, it should be able to show. If you're watching my screen right now, this is my screen, and that is YouTube. The question is right there. I was reading from YouTube right here. If you're watching
It's
me,
showing for me.
yeah, it's showing right here. It says, if you click on it, it will show. It says, should Chelsea be handed a point deduction for this alleged FFP breaches? So it's right there on my screen, and then it shows there. So I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
opened it on my phone and it was working fine for me.
Yeah, probably you have to click on it. You have to click on it for you to see the main question before the because if you don't click on it, usually it goes up there in one line. So when you click on it, it'll give it to you. You'll see the options coming. So thank you very much. I123 love you for your comments. I've closed the video and reopened it several times, but there's no question on my side. So it probably has to do from your side. I'm sorry for that inconvenience that might have caused you. So Stephen, I'm happy. I'm happy you had my question, right? Or you want me to repeat myself?
I can't remember. I was saying about the salary cap thing to Phantom just quickly, so I'm lost on what your question was.
Yeah. My question is, my question was like, how will this impact Chelsea's current season and future transfer plan? Should this happen?
Yeah, okay. So this is what I was saying about we need to touch on the Man City thing, right? Everyone's jumping to conclusions on Chelsea. Chelsea to get this deduction and to get this and that and all that BS, yeah? Man
Yeah.
City have officially been charged as of a few months ago with 115 breaches. 115. Yeah? Triple digit breaches, yeah? Chelsea have 0 charges. We're being investigated, but we got 0 charges. The other thing is our owners, when they bought the club, they put aside 100 million for stuff like this, and they also flagged this to UEFA and to the Premier League. If I remember rightly, the UEFA statement, because we got charged like 9 million by UEFA, yeah. The UEFA statement said that Chelsea were proactive. Basically, we were proactive. We flagged it to them, and that's partially why we got what we did from them. With the Premier League, I'd be skeptical on what they'd give Chelsea because I do not trust them as far as I can throw them because we know their reputation, especially after what happened to Everton with this board commission, whatever it is, with their BS of giving them the 10-point deduction. That's ridiculous. But on Chelsea side of things, like, if I'm being honest, if Chelsea were to get charged, I think it'd probably be similar to UEFA. I think it'd probably be a fine. We're probably talking 10 million fine again, maybe slightly more, depends. But one thing to note is I believe that with UEFA are allowed to go back and, like, if there's new evidence and go for the same charges. Whereas I believe the Premier League are not allowed to. So once, say they charge us, right? Let's talk hypothetical, right? Actually, no, let's go by Everton. They've charged Everton. Everton have got a punishment, yeah? I believe once this is appealed by Everton, and then we get a couple years down the line, say, the Premier League cannot go back on the exact same charges that they've already charged them with. But I think UEFA can if there was new evidence. But I don't think the Premier League can. So that's the other thing. If they were to charge us and punish us, I don't think they can go back to those same charges even with new evidence. Another difference is with UEFA, there's certain things that are time barred. So if things are over a certain period of time, UEFA can't do any punishment on those. So there's a couple of things that'll be different. But yeah, Phantom says Bowley did nothing wrong. Once Abramovich sold, he was punished. That's not true. That was just government. That was nothing to do with the FA or the Premier League. That was the government because of the political stuff going on with Russia and Ukraine. So that point is basically irrelevant because it's not related to the organization of the Premier League or the FA. But yeah, our owners put aside 100 million, so they must have some sort of inkling for if there's going to be anything, it's not going to surpass that. So yeah, I'm not worried about it as such because the way I look at it, we've not been charged. We flagged it up to them. We've done their job for them.
It's not alleged. Still alleged.
Yes, it's still alleged. And also, actually, it's not even alleged at this point because we literally flagged it to them. We literally
So we already know.
Yeah, we've
told
done
them
it.
we have a problem here.
You have to do due diligence when and all that, yeah. So they would have got the books or part of the books when they were going to buy the club. They would have looked through it with the lawyers and they would have looked at it and gone, okay, that needs to be highlighted. That needs to be highlighted. That's essentially what they've done. They've looked and they've basically gone, there's discrepancies or something doesn't add up here and here and here. Took it to UEFA, took it to the Premier League or the FA, whichever one it is in England. I don't know if it's the Premier League or the FA that deal with it. I think it's the Premier League.
A Premier League.
And then said, look, when we were looking through, when we took ownership, we found this. We're flagging this so that it doesn't come back on us as if we had sort of any knowledge of it and just chose to ignore it, which is 100% the right thing to do. I don't think anyone can criticize that. Because if they just didn't say anything, the Premier League can go, well, you would have seen the finances. You surely would have picked up on this. Because that's the argument, right? If we didn't say anything, or rather Chelsea didn't say anything, the argument is you knowingly didn't inform us when you took control, so you're technically complicit in this situation. But because we flagged it, I don't see what they can do other than fine us because it's new ownership. This did not happen under them. What can they possibly do? I said it to someone earlier, right? I said, what can they do, right? Because this ownership has done all they could. They were not the ownership at the time. So it's not like they can say, oh, we made a mistake, we did it, or whatnot. And when they came in to ownership, they're the ones that flagged it. So they've literally done everything they possibly could because they couldn't do anything else because they weren't in the ownership group that was in charge when these things took place. So yeah, if we get a deduction, then the Premier League can do one because it'd be an absolute disgrace. It's a disgrace that Everton have got a big deduction that they have. It'd be a disgrace if we get a deduction for what we've done when we flagged it to them. We've done the job for them. We've literally gone, oh, when we were looking, this happened. So, yeah, if it's anything other than a fine, who knows? Maybe I think I said, I don't know if I said this in the group or to some other people. I think when they took charge, they said it could take us about 4 years to get everyone we want, right? To basically build the team.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they have suspicion that we could get a transfer ban. Because you look at how quickly they've gone through the business, how big they've spent and all that, right?
Yeah.
Splashing the money to fill out all these positions. It does raise a question to me of, do they suspect we could get a transfer ban and they're just going, let's do it. Let's just go all in because then our squad's built. I do suspect that could happen because the way we've gone about it of just going, We'll buy them. And basically, we've sort of, because I think they said it'd take 3 to 4 years, as in basically 6 whole transfer windows. We've just had the 4th transfer window under this ownership, right?
Yeah.
No,
Right.
third. We've had the
The
third.
third one. Yeah.
Summer, winter, summer. So we've had the third. So I wonder if they're speed rushing all these deals just because they're worried we could get one. But at the end of the day, you want to give us a transfer ban? It ain't gonna matter, because if our squad is already built, that's all right. We'll just easily walk to qualification for Europe, probably challenge for a title or two, and then we'll be back in Europe. Fine by me.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Stephen G. Phantom of Minute topic said if we get a transfer ban, we definitely need Super Frank Lampard back as a manager.
No,
I don't know if Frank will I mean,
let's not.
Frank will, anytime we call on Frank to take over Chelsea job, definitely he will. Why? He would never reject any job that Chelsea offers him. But Frank has to assess himself very well, just like Graham Potter. Graham Potter did not rush back after the Brighton job to Chelsea. He did not rush himself back to managerial role again. He has to assess himself very well so he doesn't go on that train like other English managers have done, like the likes of Sam Allardyce and Frank Lampard's uncle Harry Redknapp and other Sir-Göran Erikssons and all the others. I think he's a Swedish, right? He's from Sweden, Australia.
Who?
Sven-Göran Eriksson. Where is it from?
Swedish.
Swedish,
Sven-Göran Eriksson, Swedish.
Yeah, Swedish. Sure. So it doesn't become like other English managers who don't get that chance on him anymore. So we have to look into that. So the last thing on the bill will be Gabriel Mascala. But before we get into Gabriel Mascala, Stephen, I have something I want to ask you in regards to some content created and your opinion on them and how you see them and how you see how they create their jobs, how they create their work. And I'll start from I'll get that on you real quick. Out of context, guys, out of context. I'll start from Mark Goldbridge. How do you see Mark Goldbridge and how do you see his content?
I don't see a lot of him. I see a lot of clips from him. But to be honest, they're mostly him raging. I need to sort of watch more of him to get a better understanding, because I mostly see clips from him. So I can't really give you a conclusive view. Not conclusive, that's the wrong word.
In
I can't
terms
really
of
give you
in terms
a
of
detailed
professionalism, in terms of his him as a person and what he's doing. How do you see him and what the work he's doing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Look, like I haven't seen a big body of his work. I've only seen little bits here and there. But he seems like an interesting personality. He can retain the views. He has information he'll give to people and stuff like that. And yeah, I think I need to watch more of him. But from what I've seen, he's someone who he has the knowledge, right? He's someone who knows exactly what they're talking about, and seems to be very clear on what he's saying. And that's what the audience needs. That's what we try to do as well. We try to break it down to be clear and concise on what we're talking about so that it's easy for everyone to understand. And from the bits I've seen from him, that seems like what he tries to do as well.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And what's your how do you see this guy also? This guy from Tottenham Hotspurs, what's his name? Ooze or whatever his name is. Expressions, yeah. What's your view on his content creating and the kind of work he's doing? How do you see him and his work?
Yeah, I've seen a bit more of Expressions because he's on multiple different platforms. He's sometimes on DR Sports, which is the guy who has AFTV. It's like his sort of channel. So I've seen him on there from time to time. Seen him on a couple of other shows, but he's very entertaining. Like some of the stuff he says is just like, where has he come up with that? Like, like he comes up with the most crazy analogies and stuff. And I think that's part of the beauty of him, is that he says a lot of crazy things, but he's got that personality where, like, he has knowledge, but he is also a bit. I don't want this to come across in a negative way. He's a bit mad in some of the stuff he says, if that makes sense.
Would you say he's like you said, entertaining? Does it under entertaining funny, like comedian?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's like quite comedic, to like, in my opinion. But I think a lot of that is also down to some of the analogies he uses, like actually ridiculous. But
all right. So
like I
he's got
said,
some good
he's
sense of
funny.
humor.
He has good humor. He knows what he's talking about. Again, I feel like a lot of the people who do this know what they're talking about. There's the odd one or two who are questionable, but I think his humor really helps him out by taking him to another level.
Okay. Then one more one. We're gonna go to the football therapy. You've seen the football therapy before. What you make of that, guys? Also, his content and much more of how he carry himself.
Football therapy. I haven't watched him in ages. I used to watch him, and then I think I can't remember what it was. There was something. I don't think it was anything really bad, but I just sort of stopped watching him. Something, I don't know. I feel like I used to watch him because I used to watch a lot of the Chelsea YouTubers. Obviously, I was still watching like the AFTV lot and a bit of Expressions and stuff like that. But I've not watched football therapy in a long time now. Like, we're talking a couple years. Something just sort of, I don't know, maybe put me off of watching their content isn't the right word, but I sort of just went off of it. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly why. Just, yeah.
So something really periodical happened, and you just don't connect with
I
his
don't
content.
think I don't think he done anything bad. I just feel like I just sort of went off of him. Maybe there was something in the way he started to present or do something. Like I said, it's been a couple years, so I couldn't nail down exactly what it was.
Okay, thank you. Because one more we can talk about, it's Terry Florence. Terry Florence from the football. What's his name again? Football
Football terror.
Terrorists. What's your opinion? What do you see of him and how he does his content
Mhm.
and everything?
Yeah. Again, someone I've not watched for a while, but he grinds out a lot of content. He seems to do a show for pretty much every game that's on TV. He'll do a review. Like, obviously, he'll bulk certain ones or whatnot, but I feel like he's really hardworking, and that's sort of why he's got to the position he's in. I feel like as a host, from the bits I've seen, he comes across quite well. Um, he sort of gives people their time, but I don't know. The only thing I would say is, like, we don't use clickbait here, right? Like, not to an extreme. Like, we might see an article and we'll say, "Oh, we'll use a bit of that," but I feel like sometimes he like overdoes it on the clickbait, if that makes sense.
But he's more
Like,
professional, right?
huh?
Is it more professional to you in
Hmm.
terms of how
I
he
feel
does his
like
work?
over the summer, all I kept seeing every day was this still's close, this still's happening, and it was like nowhere close to being done and never happened. It was like, you're doing
So
that just because you know it's going to bring in the viewers, and there's like the smallest amount of talks about them.
so you don't trust in his content?
Kind of. I think for stuff like reviews of games and
Or
stuff,
he's
he's
not
probably good.
reliable? Or is it reliable? That's the right word. He's not reliable. Or is he reliable?
Put it this way: if I went back to watching his stuff, I would probably stay away from the transfer stuff and stick to the stuff like the match reviews. Because I literally feel like every day I saw, like, so I'm still subscribed. I just literally, I'm subscribed to so many channels. I literally can't watch every channel I'm subscribed to. Um, but I feel like every day I saw deal close, and like it'd be someone to a team, and then it'd be, oh, this team's entering the race, and it's got to be this, and it got really messy, and there was a lot of things that to me I was like, okay, so you've seen like one little thing, and all of a sudden you're reporting like a deal's close or something, and the deal don't end up happening. Like, I get it. I've said it myself on here that things can change, but some of the stuff, like, it was ridiculous. Honestly, I couldn't do it. And
Thank you
that's
very
no
much.
disrespectful. That's not me being disrespectful. Look, it works for him. Like, for him, that's what works. For me
No,
personally,
no,
I don't
that's
like
not
it.
disrespect. That's not you being disrespectful. You
Mhm.
just
No,
giving
but I
your
want to
honest opinion.
clarify it because
Obviously.
obviously, to me,
Hmm.
it's not me being disrespectful. It's just a case of it works for him, and you've got to do what works for you, right? If
Absolutely.
clickbait works for you and it gets in the viewers, by all means. But for me, it's not for me. Like, we'll see a report and we'll talk about it. It's like the messy ones, right? There was actually, not Messi, Mbappe. There was actually a couple
Mbappe.
links to Mbappe. That wasn't clickbait. There was actually links to him. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't
So
say it's happening and it's done deal and contract talks and all that, which is what Terry typically does.
all right. So thank you very much. I was just trying to make a little survey, and I
Mm-hmm.
needed a different opinion because
Mm-hmm.
we've never talked about it. I said I'm gonna bring it on the
Yeah.
platform and see what
Mm-hmm.
I can get from you, so I can get some of my survey done. So thank you very much, Stephen, taking
Mm-hmm.
us through that. The last topic on the show, we're gonna use that 5 minutes to talk about this young chap, young player that Chelsea were interested in the summer transfer window, but Chelsea did not finish the deal. Thank you very much, Phantom, of many topic with all your comments. It's Terry. Headlines are like Ten Hag sacked and that kind of stuff. What is the situation between Barca and Chelsea transfer B? The situation with Barcelona. What I've seen is I know some news trending in regards to Rafinha coming back to Chelsea, but I don't see that deal happening. I don't see that deal
I don't think
happening.
that's
If
going to happen.
yeah, Prince, big up to you. Or Matt Carr, I think I don't want to butcher his name. So he's a Prince. I'll go by Prince. Prince, big up to you and thank you for your wonderful comments that you just sent in. I'm not so sure if there is any news trending right now. I'll let my co-host check if there are any other news trending right now regarding Barcelona and Chelsea transfer. Yes, we'll definitely give you an update. So stay tuned and do not go anywhere. So my co-host will check into it and see if there's any other news we can share in regards to Chelsea in Barcelona.
I've
We
not
will let
seen
you know.
anything
I think
on
the only
Barca and
news,
Chelsea recently.
okay, the only news that is trending from yesterday and now is Gavi. We watched Gavi played yesterday. I think they played Georgia where he pulled something, right? Stephen, was it Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia. So
Georgia where
on that, supposedly, actually not even supposedly, I think Barca have officially confirmed that he ruptured his ACL and he's also done damage to his meniscus. Your meniscus is basically the shock absorber for the knee. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I think that's officially confirmed now. So that's him basically out for at least 9 months.
So yeah, any news coming from the Catalans, which is Barcelona, it's Gavi is out probably for the rest of the season. Is out for the rest of the season. We're gonna put it that way. That's 7 to 9 months. That's a long time, considering he has to get back. When he gets back, he has to get to match fitness and all of that. So that's going to be a lot for Gavi to get himself back to full fitness. So let's say he's out. I don't know. I'm not so sure about the Euros. Maybe he might play the Euro if the coach is that smart. He can
Nah,
put
I
him
don't
in.
think he's going to make the Euros. I think he's out past the Euros. No way. Actually, yeah, he will be. 9 months, he's out for the Euros, 100%. If it's definitely 9 months, which I think, based on the knowledge we have,
Yeah.
it will be about 9 months, then he won't make it.
Okay. So we're discussing Gabriel Mascado. Is the guy we are discussing right now. 26 million price tag on him reported by the Evidence Standard. Nizar Cancela said it looked Chelsea at the front runners for this young chap. 18 years old, I think right-footed, apparently about 6 feet, 6 feet tall, contracted still within 2026, will be allowed to leave Corinthians in any transfer window as he is already 18 years old. So it's not going to be like Kendrick Pierce. He is 18 years old. He's mature enough. He's old enough to move away from Corinthians. So 26 million. If Chelsea put that money down, they have your man. Steven, what's your take
Mhm.
on this young chap? Another young player, not ready
Mhm.
for the Premier League yet. We already have
No.
David Washington, another one
Mhm.
coming in. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to in terms of opinion for a second. With Washington, I think they'll keep him around. Maybe for this season, if maybe keep him with actually who was it we had last year? I think it was Santos last year. We
Yeah,
kept him for 6 months from the summer. Was it Santos? One of the
no, it
signings we
wasn't
made last
Santos. It wasn't
summer.
Santos.
No, Santos. It wasn't. Oh, who was it? It was one of the other ones that we got that was unable to join us immediately. I think.
It's not Washington.
No, because he's only joined this summer. But I'm talking last year, rather, not the summer just gone. We basically kept them here for 6 months so that they can like acclimatize to like the country and all that, and obviously being at Chelsea. And then we sent them out on loan for the last like 6 months of the season. I forgot which one it is. For some reason, I had Santos in
Was
my
it?
head, but I think Santos was still at Vasco da Gama, so
Was it?
couldn't have been
Was it
him.
Gabriel?
No. I'll quickly
All right.
try and find it, but yeah, I think we'll probably do that with Washington. With Moscardo, I think he's predominantly a defensive mid. He's about 6'1".
Yeah.
He's at Corinthians, as you see by the shirt, whether people recognize that or not. That is Corinthians in Brazil. One of the more well-known teams, I'd argue. He's right-footed. Yeah, apparently 6 foot. He's contracted till 2026. So that's another 30 months. So 2.5 years, basically. Um, and as he's already 18, we wouldn't have to wait for him to come in. If we were to do a deal now or January, he would be able to come in January, and we wouldn't have to wait 1 or 2 years or whatever, like we have with Santos, like we have with Paez and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So that would be one benefit, but I don't think he would be staying. He'll probably go out on loan. So, well, actually, I'd say 95% chance that if we sign him, he
He's
goes
gonna
out on
definitely
loan.
gonna go on loan. Yeah.
Of course. Was that
Uh,
chicken? Oh, last season. I was going to try and find that player. Um,
we got just 3 minutes to go to hit the 50
mhm.
50 mark of streaming, so we can
Alright.
bring the stream to an end.
I'm
So
getting it
if you
up
can
now
find it,
anyway. I'm on the website. I just got to quickly find it.
okay. If you can find it, that's fine. If you can't,
Mhm.
we can bring it up some other time. Maybe when we return after. I think Thursday we'll be back again on Thursday
Mhm.
for the international break. He returns and prepare for the Newcastle game.
Yep.
All right. Whilst you're doing that, let me see. Let me go to the comments and see what I can, if I can read some few comments there. Phantom of Bennett topic said, have either of you purchased you is it UEFA
EAFC. It's basically it's what
EFC?
FIFA's now called because
Oh,
of
okay, yeah,
we're not
EFC,
partnered with
Yeah, no,
FIFA.
no. I still have my FIFA 23. I haven't buy the. Sometimes I
I've got
wait
it, but I've
because
not played it in a little while.
they make too many mistakes, and I don't play on computer. I know you play on computer, but I don't play on computer. I play on PlayStation. PlayStation, whether 4 or 5.
No, I play on PlayStation.
Yeah, I've called you many times. You don't. You always run away. So
Nah, because I'm on a different console of it. I'm on a new one. That's why. So it
you know
doesn't
what do you
work.
mean?
Remember we tried it and it weren't doing it.
I have 5.
Do you?
Yeah, I have 5.
Oh, you do know. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do have 5.
You didn't last time we tried. That's why.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said you could do a cross something. Yeah. That time I didn't have it, but luckily, a wonderful wife bought PlayStation 5 for me for a birthday present, which I wasn't expecting it. So, yeah, a while ago. So I'll take that, and then I wasn't expecting a lot at all, and I was sleeping, and she brought that to me. I was like, oh wow, but yeah. All right. Phantom said I'm on PS4. I think you can do a cross. You can play with someone on PS5, right? It don't really matter on network, right? It doesn't really matter.
Um, I think it's more. It has to be the newer generations. That would have to be the newer Xbox with the newer
No.
PlayStation.
He's on PlayStation 4, so it doesn't
Yeah,
really
no, but I
matter.
think the cross-platform it isn't necessarily. I don't know if it works as 4 to 5. I think it has to be the same generation Xbox as it is for PlayStation. I think.
Okay. Phantom said I built my own team called Hounds. Is it what?
Hounslow FC.
Hounslow FC. Hounslow. Phantom. All right.
Hounslow is actually
Do what?
it's actually a place. I don't know if they have a team or not.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. If I do, I would name it Blue Clouds FC. uh okay. All right, Stevie G. I think guys, this is where we're gonna end the stream today. Big up to Prince, big up to you for coming on. Phantom a minute topic. George Choice George, I think God D, I'm sure God D. I want to love you forever, Phantom Minute Topic, and Gula Mustafa. Thank you all for coming on. Steven, I'll see you on the other side. Guys, we'll be back again on Thursday. Good night, Phantom.
When the
Good night,
internationals
Phantom.
are over.
Yeah, we'll be right after the international break. We'll be back again on Thursday. I don't like come over here and then waffle things that it's don't make really
We
sense.
don't want
So
to repeat the same stories or have to make stuff up just for content because it would be pointless, pretty much. So we tend to take a little break during the internationals. We'll come on a couple of times, but like you put out the other day, you've been ill anyway. So like having that break has been good to an extent because it's given you time to get better as well. So
yes, so guys, we'll see you guys again. We'll be back again on Thursday, early in the morning, 5 p.m. UK time and 12 p.m. my time over here. So tune in to Blue Clouds Media, all football minutes live on Blue Clouds Media. Steven and I will say Leo Desperados.
hang on to hope.
Yeah, we'll see you guys again at a time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Blue Clouds TV.